I should probably start this installment off by making a specification about the previous Twilight installment. When I said that vampire origins dated back to the 1400s, there's a bit of explaining to do there. First off, vampire legends have technically been around for thousands and thousands of years. Almost every civilization to ever exist had vampire myths. The 14th century, however, was the life and times of Vlad the Impaler, who was sometimes known as Dracula, and was actually the basis for Bram Stoker's Dracula, who is, of course, the most famous vampire of all time. Now that we've got that out of the way, Twilight installment number 2. What did Stephenie Meyers do to werewolves? Now, I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, they're not actually werewolves. They're just shapeshifters that can only turn into wolves. Yeah, a werewolf. Not a shapeshifter. A werewolf. A lycanthrope. Something that turns into a wolf. You're a shapeshifter? So can you turn into a pig? Nope, just a wolf. Oh, really? You're a werewolf. Don't call them shapeshifters. That's the first thing. Stephenie Meyers, fuck you again. Now, my issues with Taylor Lautner. And believe me, I'm not personally calling out Taylor Lautner. I have no problem with Taylor Lautner as an actor. I mean, sure, he's cheesy, but, you know, at least he has that whole teen angst thing down really well. Werewolves were not Taylor Lautner. I mean, you know, let's call a spade a spade. Are we watching him as, you know, playing a werewolf, or are we watching Taylor Lautner be really attractive and show off his abs? I think it's probably the latter. First of all, vampires knew that... Not vampires, what am I talking about? Werewolves knew that they were werewolves, but they weren't cool about it. They weren't like, yeah, I'm a werewolf. I can protect you with my werewolf abilities. Werewolves, they turned into, once again, it starts going to come up again, monsters. They were people that, come the full moon, they turned into monsters. They were ravenous, beastly wolves that would kill anything in sight. It didn't matter if there was some girl that they liked. When they were a werewolf, they would fucking rip her throat out. That's what a werewolf does. But Stephenie Meyers is like, nope, that's not what werewolves do. Werewolves? Yeah, no, they turn into wolves and they protect people. Right. Okay, and also the swamp monster lived in the clouds. I don't know anymore. Something that really pissed me off. This might have been the moment that I became a cynical human being. I mean, sure, you know, I'm completely lying because I was already a cynical human being. But I found online, and I'll post a link to this, there is an article in which a young twihard, as they like to call those Twilight fans, this girl wrote into, I think it was the company that produced the remake of The Wolfman, saying that they ripped off Twilight. They ripped off the concept of a werewolf from Twilight. This girl actually thought that a character, first of all, based off of a way older movie, you know, the Wolfman, was a remake of the original Wolfman, which, whatever, the year it came out doesn't matter. I'll find out later. A movie that came out, I think, in the 40s, ripped off Twilight because Stephenie Meyers invented werewolves. That is what this girl thought. Does nobody realize that writers have a duty to their readers to be honest and to, I mean, you know, I know she does fiction, but to have integrity and to treat their readers as if they're intelligent human beings. Acting like an icon is something that it's not. Completely breaks the law of writers, and I don't care how much money that woman has. She is breaking the unwritten rule of fantasy and fiction. She is creating shit. That's what she's doing. That is all she's doing. Now let's talk about werewolves a little more and what this little girl said. Basically, her whole argument was not just that the Wolfman ripped off Twilight, but the werewolves are supposed to be attractive and cute. Werewolves are not supposed to be disgusting and ugly. They're supposed to be good-looking and friendly. Because that's what a monster is. Good-looking and friendly. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's not even Stephenie Meyers. Maybe it's the fact that parents are raising their children to be morons. Kids are uninformed these days. They don't know what's going on in the excuse me, in the world around them. Everything is, rainbows and butterflies and bubblegum and Nicktoons and Disney Channel. And that's not what the world is. You can't leave your kids with just that as parenting. You need to teach them what the world is. You need to scare the fucking shit out of them. And that's what Twilight does wrong. Twilight teaches you that monsters, things that go bump in the night, they're okay. And they're not. Look at what you're creating. You're creating monsters that real monsters! Monsters that think that original material is stealing from shit. I can't do it. I saw that. I saw the article. And I literally almost killed myself. You scroll down comments and there are, tons of people going, "Oh, this girl's stupid. She's a dumb little bitch. Blah, blah, blah." And then you have this one girl who's like, "Well, I'm a fan of Twilight, but I don't necessarily agree with her. Yeah, Stephenie Meyers was kind of ripped off by the Wolfman, but it was a different concept." Really? Good job reading. You completely missed the point of why everybody was so pissed. Oh yeah, it was kind of ripped off? No, it wasn't. Werewolves were around way before Stephenie Meyers and her little scaredy cat emotions led her to write piece of shit. She's not even a good writer. Stephen King, for God's sakes, denounced her as a writer. Stephen King, one of the greatest horror writers of all time, denounced her as a writer for being not just her ideas, but literally being a terrible author. She can't even formulate thoughts well, and yet she sold millions of copies of her book worldwide, and has a movie that, despite the fact that it's terribly acted and terribly written and just an overall piece of shit, has fans that'll push down doors to get into a theater to see the crap movie. I don't know. What has this world come to? Why would you even bother watching my rants? I don't know. Alright, well, now that I'm in a really bad mood, I shall say until next time. Good day.